Now this is the sound I was looking for. Welcome to your guardian chef, your angel in the kitchen. Today we are making pizza Bianca Romana, also known as pizza al taglio. It is cooked, spread out in a square baking tray, ideal for making at home. Unlike regular pizza, this white pizza doesn't have any toppings at all. It is this special pizza dough that takes center stage with its crispy crust and classy feel. Before we get started, here are two important points. The dough needs to rest overnight, so you need to prepare the dough the day before. The process can be long, but it is mostly resting time. I will also give you a few tips to make the process much easier. The dough is highly hydrated. It will get messy when folding, but do not add flour. Maintaining the right percentage of hydration is very important. I use a bench scraper to ease the folding. These are the ingredients you need. The measurements are in the description below. Mix the flour and the dry yeast in a bowl of a stand mixer. Add only 2/3 of the total water and mix. Let it sit for 15 minutes for the yeast to activate. Add salt and knead until incorporated. With the dough hook attachment, mix at a low speed and gradually mix in the remaining water and then knead. Gradually add the olive oil and mix until fully absorbed. As you can see, the dough is very fluid. Let the dough rest for 1 hour covered in a warm place. To make the dough up to this step, you can also use a bread machine using the program Dough. No cooking. We now begin the process of folding the dough, which is key to achieving its signature light and fluffy structure. Lightly oil a large surface to work the dough. As you can see, the dough is very fluid, but do not add flour. I utilize a bench scraper, preventing the dough from sticking to my hands. Lift a side of the dough and fold the top part towards the center. Rotate the dough 90 degrees and repeat the fold. Perform this fold and rotate action 3 times in total. After completing the folds, let the dough rest for 20 minutes in a warm place. Repeat the 20-minute resting process 2 more times, allowing the dough to relax and the gluten to develop. The dough will get firmer with each resting time. After the last fold, place the dough in an oiled, large airtight container and refrigerate overnight. This is what the dough will look like the next day. Let the dough rest for 30 minutes to come to room temperature. Gently invert the container to let the risen dough fall onto an oiled surface or a bowl. Do not force the dough out as you want to maintain its airy structure. Weigh the dough to separate it into portions. In this recipe, the dough is enough to cover a home baking tray with a thickness of 2 inches or 6 centimeters. You can find the exact measurements in the description below. At this point, you can even freeze a portion of the dough for later use. Defrost it overnight and start back from here. The dough needs now its final rise. Place it in oil containers and let it rest depending on the room temperature. 2 hours in a hot summer or 6 hours in a cold winter. You will see it double or triple its volume. Gently invert the container to let the risen dough fall onto a semolina dusted surface, avoiding any force to maintain its airy structure. Do not use a rolling pin. Lightly press and shape the dough with wide fingertips, ensuring it does not deflate. Carefully transfer the stretched dough into a pan brushed with oil. Make any necessary adjustments to fit the dough into the pan. Drizzle a bit of oil over the dough before it goes into the oven for baking. Bake at a high temperature, 480 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 250 degrees Celsius, for 8 to 9 minutes in the lower part of the oven. Then for another 7 to 8 minutes in the middle of the oven until golden brown. Serve it warm or at room temperature, cut into squares or rectangles. You can serve it as an appetizer or a base for delicious sandwiches. Cut the pizza in half and add your favorite filling. Here I add ham, provola and lettuce, or my leftover sausage with spicy friarelli. You can also add bresaola, parmesan and wild rocket, prosciutto and burrata, mortadella and gorgonzola, tomato and mozzarella. Let your imagination go. For more authentic pizza recipes, check out the playlist above. Discover our mug collection with QR codes for easy access to your garden chef's recipes. And don't forget to subscribe. This is a trip back to my youth in Rome. I will eat it sitting on a Vespa.